So we received the first iteration of beta test for Chrono Odyssey, and people have quite mixed impressions about this game. If we're going to have a look at Reddit, there are quite a lot of negative responses about it, there are quite some positive of them, and in this video I wanted to cover them, provide my personal experiences about this game and my feelings, what I liked about it, what not that much, and let's begin with it. This is RudyCollects Video Games channel. Also, if you're interested in my content, want to stay updated with my publications, I have my own Discord server, the link is going to be in the pinned comment, you're always welcome. Now to the main topic of this video. So on Reddit there are quite a lot of reviews of this game and people providing their first impressions about it, and let me break this down quite simple for those of you who are not familiar with it, what majority of people are saying in terms of negative aspects regarding this game. So what are these negative reviews, majority of them, all about? People are saying it in a way, this game is dog shit because it has so bad optimization, the graphics sucks, the mechanics and combos are so weird and bad. It's like the same stuff as we have already in some other games, there is nothing new and interesting about it, and I'm not going to play it just because I don't like how it looks. And for those people who are not following official sources or, I don't know, located in a dungeon or something like that, on their official Discord, developers announced it openly to everyone before even the beta started. The first their announcement was telling that about the closed beta. In the closed beta, bugs and unexpected issues are not only possible, they are expected. The purpose of this phase is to stress test our servers, gameplay systems and content with a large number of players, and definitely any issues that may arise across different scenarios. Many parts of the game are still being actively developed, adjusted or polished. You may encounter performance issues such as FPS drops, network instability, or areas that require further optimizations too. Please know that we are fully aware of these and will be working hard to improve all aspects of the game ahead of release. Also, there will be more testing phases after this closed beta leading up to the official launch. So with saying this, after that they've been opening more servers, they've been providing more accesses to people. I believe everyone who applied to closed beta, they received access to it, because again the main reason is to test their servers and overall in general the game mechanics. So why is it important for people to understand? For big game with a huge flow of people getting into it, with a lot of activities that are going to require some co-op gameplay, some world bosses, raids which are going to require 50, 100, 200 players. Can you imagine if you're going to crash out during such activities, if the game isn't going to work correctly in this specific way? What is it going to be? That's why it's going to be an important one aspect. Of course, one of the most important to test out, first of all, to understand if their technical part is able to actually handle this, handle a lot of people and provide a good performance overall. They were even providing individual answers about the state of tests, and they're saying that our primary goal for these tests were to validate the core gameplay and conduct several stress testing again, as it's been mentioned from the very beginning. Please trust that many aspects of the game will greatly improve, just give us a bit more time. In particular, motion and rendering optimizations are areas where quality can be brought to the highest level with enough time and effort. Our development team placed greater importance on addressing server issues, enhancing combat enjoyment, and validating open world play and content. We'll continue to upgrade the game through the second, third, and future phases of tests. It's far from being released, and also the version from the end of last year was the FGT version, and that's the one we were aiming for at the time. Our internal development build has improved significantly since then, so we hope you'll definitely join us for the second CBT. So what does it mean? They've tested what they wanted to, and they provided the first, let's say, impressions to people to understand what this game is going to be about, not about details or specific mechanics or visual effects or something like that. They're going to improve it. They have already a better version, and there are going to be more iterations of beta tests. So during the second and third phases, we are going to see something more specifically regarding some visual aspects or better performance or something like that. Right now it's not the case. I also don't understand why some content creators doing such videos about beta failed or something like that is the worst thing ever, is the worst case scenario, everything is lost and so on. Like, guys, are you following the official website? Are you following the Discord? Do you read anything? Why are you providing these videos? I understand if it's been done for click rates or something like that. In this case, okay, but don't provide wrong impressions about this game without understanding what is it going to be about, how it works, and what kind of iterations or what's the real reason for doing different phases of beta tests are. Now, of course, everything is not only about the negative aspects of this game, and a lot of people, they provided quite positive reviews with deep thinking about it and really comprehensive feedback, let's say. So the person says, for example, good part, combat, yes, it's need polishing, but it's actually very responsive and most of the time it's accurate. I like that top of the abilities you can do combos like roll plus attack hits bigger than normal attack, and so on. Difficulty, it's game quite a difficult one, so he says that you actually need to pay attention to what is going on. And yes, it's going to be not for everyone, it's quite understandable, but this is not that easy. Let's say it requires you to understand certain mechanics, use different mechanics as well, and try to strategize your gameplay overall. Questing, leveling, and skill leveling difficulty. Finally, a game that makes questing and leveling actually interesting. It's finally not like other games like you talk to one NPC and you jump up 10 levels. That's true, I mean farming levels. I was playing for over 25 hours this game and I reached only level 17, and there is right now available 45 levels, I believe. That's insane. I mean, you really need to farm levels, you really need to fight a lot, you really need to complete a lot of tasks and so on, so it's not that easy. Interesting world. Questing and life skills are designed in a way that you need to explore every part of the world, and that's also true because again, some rare materials, they're hidden in specific parts of the map, in specific regions, so you need to discover it, you need to farm them, and farming makes sense because here in this game crafting is actually matters. It's going to straightly affect your performance, your character HP, survivability, damage, performance, crits, and so on. Everything, like not only weapons but also your stats that you're going to choose, and we're going to talk specifically about it later. Dark fantasy theme. I hated the power of friendship defeats everything type of mentally in recent MMOs. It's more black and less pink, and I like it. Up to everyone. This is the first game where I have to make up and use potions and buff foods to get through quests or boss fights. Yeah, I mean, it really is. So now let's talk not about the feedback but overall about the gameplay. And yes, we're talking about tools, crafting, gathering, and some stuff like that. In this game it's really important. First of all, it provides you experience for your levels as well. It providing you let's say not skill points, but kinda improving of your level for different types of activities like gathering, like crafting and so on. And this is going to affect overall the speed of gathering, the amount of materials that you're going to receive. Maybe in future it's going to also affect the quality of the stuff that you're going to craft and so on. The skills overall, they're quite broad, and you can choose what you want to stick with, which skills you want to build, and this is going to affect overall your performance. Like different skills, they have different animations, they have different range, not to mention, of course, we have different classes. And as I mentioned, you have options to choose which weapons to use, which combinations of skill you can switch between. And I was talking about the gear, so yeah, leveling up matters. You are kinda restricted in terms of levels and what types of gear you're going to use. And there are multiple options by different sets. Like we have in total right now 5 tiers of gears and different sets for each tier. They're providing different bonuses. Some of them, they're going to provide some damage boosts, some others they're going to increase your crit rate, crit resistance, damage reduction, defense, and so on. So you have options, and you may think about the strategy, how you actually want to see your character performance. If you want to be more tanky, I don't know, use less dashes or something like that. If you want to deal more damage, be like a powerhouse in your team, let's say in raids or something like that, but you're going to be like a glass cannon or something like that. It provides options. Weapons, they are also kind of different, and when you're going to have a look at them, they also have some balanced builds, like they're providing the damage output throughout the time period. Some of them, they're providing some damage boost from the start, some of them they're increasing the crit rate, movement speed, and they're going to vary for different classes, I believe. So different classes, they can be built differently. Also, again, in terms of a single one class, you have multiple options of how you're going to perform and utilize your character. And of course, to craft all these gears, all these weapons, you need to farm quite a lot of materials. To craft these items, you first of all need to gather, I don't know, the titanium, for example, or collect the wood. And it's not like you're going to cut the tree, you're receiving already the material that you need. You actually need to process it, and there is some sort of RNG in terms of drop rate. The top end gears require some rare materials, and you actually need to look and discover the world for these exact materials, because they're not like everywhere. Yes, they are going to be refreshed and updated, but you need to find these locations first of all. In terms of buying, you can't find an NPC who is going to sell everything. There is a post, let's say, where, like a market, where players are able to sell their goods that they farmed, and if there is something which is needed for you, you can buy it for gold. The gold is the currency which you're able to farm through selling different unnecessary equipments, through completing different quests, and so on. So it's not like some pay-to-win aspect, like not at all. And there are ways to actually improve your gears. You can enhance it, you can also transfer some effects from one gear to another. I didn't get deep into it, but there is such an option. So yeah, also you have different levels for the tools which you're going to use, and they're also going to improve the speed of gathering and so on. So yeah, it's quite a huge one aspect. It requires some special attention, and it's not like really that boring to do. I can't tell it myself, because you're discovering the map. When you're doing it, you're able to maybe face some different types of activities, some side quests and some stuff like that, some world bosses or regional bosses, which are kinda tough, not gonna lie. It requires a team to actually beat them, and it makes this exploration stuff really interesting, because you don't know what to expect, what you're going to face, and so on. Yeah, also the overall conditions of the weather that we are going to meet is going to be changed. It's not going to affect your performance or something like that, but in terms of visuals, for example, during the night or when it's cloudy or I don't know, rainy, you're going to see a little bit worse, and it's going to make a bit harder to perform some decent combos, because you may not fall precise to opponent, maybe. About individual features of this game, we're talking about Chronotector. This is a unique, let's say, mechanic of this game, because it provides you certain abilities and options how you may strategize your performance during battles. You have different options in terms of manipulating time, some time reversals, or summoning different creatures that you're going to defeat through the walkthrough, and also some stuff which you can apply during combats, which is kinda interesting and may change overall the difficulty of your walkthrough. Let's say you're able to level this up, you're able to unlock new skills and so on. The length is going to be better, or it's going to reduce the cooldowns of your skills and some stuff like that. Overall, there are a lot of skills again that you're able to use. There are in total like 9 skills from weapons. There are individual 4 skills from the class that you're playing, and you're going to unlock them step by step. So here is an example of the Chronotector. For example, time reversal. I may use it in a way that I'm going to receive certain damage, but I am going to bring back in a moment when I didn't receive this damage, when I was in the other position, in the other location. I may summon a huge creature who is going to deal some decent damage. Some of them may last for quite some time on the battlefield, some of them less. You may freeze enemies. It's not going to apply to all of them, but for some decent enemies it's going to help overall for your performance. And I mean, you may solo different content, like it's going to be tough, but you're able to do it because of using different features and mechanics, and also potions and so on. And this might be an interesting, challenging but interesting experience. And if you don't believe me, just watch this fragment of the, let's say, one of the final battles where I was facing the boss, which you're actually going to fight in a raid mode, let's say, with some other players ideally, but I was able to defeat it on my own. Again, it's just a showcase and a small fragment, so yeah, enjoy it. And overall, I can say that there are a lot of different features and mechanics that we don't really see right now. They didn't provide them because it's the first iteration of beta, and the reasons to do these tests are others. So it's going to be important to wait for the second iteration, what they're going to cook, what they're going to provide. And overall, my impressions, they're kind of positive. From the negative parts, again, right now it's not that many I can mention. I enjoy the farming part, I enjoy the grinding, but sometimes I was getting some aspects which are not, let's say, well explained in this game, and maybe I didn't see it. The main, let's say, negative aspect for me right now, that there are no description or explanation of, for example, where to farm this or that stuff, or some quests. They're kinda weird a little bit in terms of overall explanation of what are you gonna do, what do you need to do specifically, and you need to actually figure out it on your own. So I wish we had some kind of a book, let's say, where they're going to be provided some details. That's the only thing that I can say, quite honestly, because I didn't pay a lot of attention to, let's say, mechanics or graphics of this game right now, because I understand that they're going to change it, and I believe in this. I want to trust them. I hope it's going to be the case, and during the second iteration we're going to see different improvements and options which we weren't able to actually discover during these beta tests. So yeah, overall my impressions are positive, and I'm waiting for this team, for this game, to provide some decent results. We'll see how it's going to be. I'm going to do also more videos about different builds and so on. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.